The nebula stretched out like a colorful storm across the blackness of space, swirling with purples, blues, and streaks of glowing white light. The human exploration fleet moved carefully through the clouds of gas and floating rock, sensors scanning every inch of the void. Commander Eli Carter watched the readings on the bridge of the Aurora, his brow furrowed. This sector was known for its beautiful but dangerous asteroid fields. One wrong move, and even the smallest rock could tear through the hull of a ship. Eli, we're approaching the coordinates of that energy anomaly, said Lieutenant Mara, pointing to a flickering blip on the holographic display. It's unusual. Not like anything we've mapped before. Eli leaned in, studying the screen. His instincts, honed from years of piloting and engineering, told him something was out there, hiding in the nebula's chaos. Keep scanners active. Don't go in too close, but prepare for EVA retrieval. If that signature is what I think it is, someone or something is out there, and it's not human. Before Mara could respond, alarms rang sharply. The ship jolted as a loud metallic crash echoed through the hull. Eli's stomach sank. He ran to the viewport and saw a small figure hurtling toward them. A fighter craft, unlike any human design, spinning out of control. The vessel slammed against an asteroid, sparks flying, and came to rest in a twisted heap. A small part of it glowed with bioluminescent light, flickering faintly as if the ship itself were alive. "Eve, suit ready," Eli muttered, already moving toward the airlock. "I'm going out. Verdi rating ready. Quote, I'm going out. 40. Everybody ready. R muddy." Mara shook her head. "You're not going alone, Eli." Eli paused, considering, then grinned. "No one knows alien tech better than me. And besides, someone might be alive in there." Moments later, Eli floated through the airlock, the void stretching around him like a black ocean. His thrusters pushed him carefully toward the wreck, his hands ready to grab anything that might be salvageable. The fighter lay crumpled on the surface of a small asteroid, its sleek lines cracked and glowing softly in places. He maneuvered closer and saw the pilot. She was humanoid, tall and slender, with glowing markings along her arms and neck. Her skin shimmered faintly in the dim light, reflecting the nebula's colors. She was conscious, though her breathing was shallow, and her fighter's cockpit shields were down. Eli's heart pounded. He had never seen anything like her. "Can you hear me?" he called through his helmet comms. She blinked her luminescent eyes and tilted her head, speaking in broken galactic basic. "Human. Help. Please. Hang tight, I'm coming in," Eli said. Carefully, he opened the cracked cockpit and pulled the pilot out, supporting her fragile frame. She was surprisingly light, and her armor, unlike human designs, felt almost soft under his gloves. As he floated them toward a secure part of the asteroid, she whispered, almost shyly, "Please." Eli froze for a moment. He had repaired human fighters and drones, even experimented on old alien wreckage before, but never had a living being asked him to be gentle. Okay, he said, a little embarrassed. "Gentle it is." The alien's voice was soft, musical, almost hypnotic. Eli realized that her biology must be extremely sensitive. Even the smallest pressure could hurt her. Carefully, he secured her onto a makeshift stretcher he had in his EVA kit. "Who are you?" he asked, trying to make conversation while checking her armor and suit for damage. "I am Cirilla," she said. "Fighter. Crashed. Pursuing mission." Her words came slowly, as if she were translating from thought to language. Eli nodded. "Well, Cirilla, you're safe. For now. I'm going to fix your armor so you can breathe and move. It's going to take time, but we'll get you out of here." The alien's eyes glowed faintly, and she shifted slightly, careful not to touch his gloves. Eli examined her armor. It was unlike anything he had seen. The outer shell had cracks, and strange, glowing filaments ran along its seams. He tapped it gently. "This is part technology, part biology," he muttered to himself. "I have to be careful." He started with small repairs, using flexible tools to patch the cracks. The alien's armor reacted to every movement, glowing brighter when he pressed too hard, and dimming when he moved carefully. Eli marveled at the integration of living tissue and machine. It was as if the armor itself was alive. Cyrilla's eyes followed his hands, glowing softly in anticipation. "Gentle, careful," she whispered. Eli chuckled. "I'm learning, I promise." He adjusted a broken segment of the suit with extreme precision, his fingers steady. Slowly, the armor began to respond, its systems humming back to life. Suddenly, a sharp vibration ran through the asteroid. Eli's sensors flared red. Another ship, no. Multiple ships were approaching fast. "Mara! I need immediate backup! Hostiles incoming!" "On our way," Mara's voice came through his comm. "Hold tight." Eli glanced at Cyrilla. Her eyes widened, and her hands trembled slightly. "Human danger." "I know," Eli said. "We'll get you out of this. Just keep calm." He floated back to her, adjusting straps and circuits on her armor with painstaking care. Each touch was deliberate. He had to balance speed with gentleness. Even the smallest mistake could trigger her body's reaction. "Better?" Eli asked, stepping back to admire his work. The armor glowed steadily, no longer flickering. Cyrilla nodded slowly, her relief clear. "You understand," she said, her voice trembling with gratitude. "Human, clever, gentle." Eli smiled. "It's what we do. Problem-solving is kind of our thing." The asteroid shook violently as the hostile ships fired warning shots. Eli's comms crackled. "Eli! Prepare for extraction. We can't hold them off long." He helped Cyrilla into a small escape pod he had salvaged from the fleet, fastening her securely inside. The pod's systems hummed to life, interfacing with her armor seamlessly. She looked at him, eyes glowing warmly. "Human, thank you." "You're welcome," he replied. "Just get out of here. You've got a lot to live for." The pod's hatch closed, and Eli pushed it gently away from the asteroid. Cyrilla's fighter systems came online, and she looked back once, nodding before activating the propulsion. The pod shot off into the nebula, leaving Eli floating among the drifting rocks. Eli exhaled slowly, adrenaline still coursing through him. He had saved her life, repaired something beyond human engineering, and somehow connected with an entirely alien being. He realized something important: humans weren't just explorers. They were builders, problem solvers, and compassionate in ways other species might not understand. The nebula was quiet again, the fleet moving cautiously. Eli's heart still pounded, but a small smile formed on his lips. The galaxy was full of unknowns. But humans could handle the unknown, one gentle touch at a time. As the Aurora turned to follow the pod's trajectory, Eli wondered what other secrets the nebula held, and how many more lives humanity might touch in ways that only humans could. And somewhere deep in the nebula, Cyrilla's pod glowed faintly, carrying the memory of a human engineer who had been gentle, clever, and brave. The nebula stretched endlessly, a river of colors and light, hiding both beauty and danger. Eli Carter floated back into the salvage bay of the Aurora, still feeling the adrenaline of his rescue mission. But there was no time to rest. The alien pilot, Cyrilla, was now in a secure pod, but her armor was delicate and her systems still unstable. Eli studied the interface screens. Alien technology was unlike anything he had ever worked on. The armor was part organic, part machine, and seemed to respond to touch, pressure, and even emotional cues. Any wrong move could harm her. "Okay, Eli," he muttered to himself. "Let's be gentle and clever." He suited up again, taking the pod's small entry hatch. The pod's interior was tight but comfortable, almost alive. Cerila's glowing markings pulsed softly as she watched him enter. "You returned," she said, her voice soft but wary. "Of course," Eli said with a reassuring smile. "I need to finish repairs on your armor. Then, maybe we can figure out how to get you flying again." Cerila shifted slightly, careful not to touch him. "Human. Careful. Touch," she said, almost as a reminder. Eli nodded. "I remember." "Got it." He began examining the armor. Its outer shell had flexible, semi-transparent layers, each lined with tiny filaments that glowed when activated. Some seemed to monitor her body functions, while others stored energy. The patterns were beautiful, like living circuits. He touched a filament lightly. It shimmered in response. "Fascinating," he whispered. "You're alive in every sense." Cerila's eyes glimmered. "Yes. Part alive. Part protector." Eli smiled. "I'll make sure the protector works again." He started with the small cracks near her shoulders. Each movement had to be precise. Too much pressure, and the filaments flared with discomfort. Too little, and the armor wouldn't reconnect. He adjusted microconnectors, carefully using tools designed for human systems, but adapted to her alien structure. "You, human, patience, unusual," Cerila murmured. Eli chuckled. "We humans have to be patient. Otherwise, nothing would ever get fixed." Time passed slowly. Eli worked tirelessly, methodically repairing the armor while observing Cerila's reactions. Her body was hypersensitive, and every touch sent waves of light through her markings. It was a delicate dance, technology and biology intertwined, alien and human working together. While working, Eli asked questions. "Cerila, why were you in this nebula? What was your mission?" Cerila hesitated. "Recon. Important. Protect. My world. Ship. Damaged. Ambushed." Eli frowned. "Ambushed? By who?" She paused, looking away. "Faction. Hostile. Want. Our technology." Eli's mind raced. He had guessed from the energy spike before that other ships were nearby. But now it made sense. She had been running from enemies. Her fighter damaged in the chase. "You're lucky you made it this far," Eli said. "And lucky you have a human to help you." Cerila's glow dimmed slightly, almost shyly. "Lucky. Yes. Human. Clever. Gentle." Eli smiled and adjusted a damaged joint near her elbow. The armor's systems hummed and clicked softly, responding to his careful handling. "Almost there. One more step," he muttered. Suddenly, the pod shook violently. Sensors flared red. Eli cursed. "Mara! They're back! Hostile ships are tracking us again." "Hold on," Mara shouted over the comm. "We're deploying drones for defense." Cerila's eyes widened. "Human. Danger. Again." "I know," Eli said. "But we're ready this time. You'll see." He activated part of her armor's systems manually, watching energy flow into her shields. It was a delicate process, like tuning a musical instrument. The filaments along her body pulsed in response, and Cerila exhaled a soft breath of relief. "You understand my body," she said. "Few do. Human." Eli nodded. "I pay attention, and I like learning new things." He couldn't help but grin. "Besides, you've got amazing tech here. Imagine what we could learn from it." Cerila tilted her head. "Teach. Human. Learn. Careful. Yes?" Eli's curiosity was sparked. I'd like that. But first, you need to survive. He finished connecting the last circuits. Her armor glowed steadily, its life systems fully functional again. She flexed her fingers, testing movement. Better? Eli asked. Ser Ela moved her arms carefully, smiling faintly. Better, human, clever, careful. Eli felt a surge of pride. This wasn't just about fixing technology. It was about building trust across species. He realized humans had something special. The ability to adapt, to improvise, and to care. Ready to try moving? He asked. She hesitated. Yes. Human. Always, he said. Eli helped her interface with the pod's control systems. The pod was simple for humans, but complex for her. She adjusted the settings with her glowing fingers, learning quickly but still relying on his guidance. The nebula around them shimmered. Beautiful, but dangerous. Rocks drifted past, and hostile signals still lingered nearby. Eli knew they had limited time before the faction could locate them. Don't worry, he said. Humans are good at improvising. We'll get you out of here. 12. 25. Ser Ela nodded, her luminescent eyes glowing brighter. Eli laughed softly. I'll take that as a compliment. Working together, they practiced moving the pod. Eli taught her human maneuvers, quick adjustments, rotations, emergency thrusts. Ser Ela's alien reflexes were precise and graceful, complementing his methods perfectly. It was a dance of two species, learning from each other, each bringing strengths to survive. As they practiced, Eli realized something profound. Humans might not have the fastest ships or the most advanced alien technology, but they had creativity, courage, and empathy. He could sense that Ser Ela appreciated these qualities more than anything else. Hours passed, and the pod became a small sanctuary of cooperation. The nebula outside was still chaotic, but inside, the human and alien worked together, building a bond of trust. Suddenly, another warning flared. Incoming! Mara's voice shouted. Sensors detect multiple hostiles converging on your location. Ser Ela's markings pulsed rapidly with tension. Eli's hands moved fast, connecting her armor to the pod's defense systems. Hold on, I've got an idea. He initiated a series of quick energy pulses through the armor, creating temporary shields around key systems. The pod trembled, but held steady. You, human, clever, Ser Ela whispered, almost in awe. Eli grinned, adrenaline coursing. Improvisation. Humans are good at it. They managed to stabilize the pod long enough to send out a decoy signal. The hostile ships, momentarily confused, slowed their approach. Eli saw an opening to navigate toward safer space. Ready? He asked. Ser Ela nodded. Yes. Human. Together. With coordinated effort, they maneuvered the pod through a narrow corridor of asteroids. Eli guided her, showing her how to anticipate movements and adjust quickly. Ser Ela responded with perfect timing. Their teamwork seamless, despite being from entirely different worlds. Finally, they reached a quiet area of the nebula, away from immediate danger. Ser Ela exhaled, a soft, glowing pulse running along her markings. Safe. Human. Thanks. You did well too, Eli said. Humans are good, but even better when we work with others. She smiled faintly, the first real expression of ease since he had found her. Human, strong, clever, and gentle. Eli nodded, feeling a warmth he hadn't expected. It wasn't just about fixing broken armor or escaping danger. It was about connection, trust, and the courage to care for someone entirely different from himself. As the pod floated safely in the nebula, Eli looked at Ser Ela. Tomorrow, we get you flying your fighter again. And maybe, you can show me a few of your tricks too. She tilted her head, a small glow of amusement in her eyes. Human. Curious. Yes. Teach. Learn. Together. Eli smiled. Humanity had survived countless challenges, traveled across space, and faced the unknown. But moments like this reminded him that the true strength of humans wasn't just technology, it was heart, empathy, and courage. And somewhere deep in the nebula, an alien fighter and a human engineer were proving that cooperation and understanding could bridge worlds, even under the shadow of danger. The nebula glowed with swirling colors, a breathtaking mixture of light and shadow. Eli Carter floated alongside Serila's pod, watching her prepare for the next step. Her armor was fully repaired, her life support systems stable, and her fighter's propulsion systems were humming with energy. "You ready?" Eli asked. Excitement and tension mixed in his voice. Serila nodded slowly, her glowing eyes reflecting both the nebula and a hint of trust. "Yes, human. Ready. Together. You." Eli helped her secure the final connections between her armor and the pod's navigation systems. The controls were designed for her, not a human. But he had learned enough about her technology to make it compatible with the pod's guidance systems. "You've done well," she said softly. "Human, clever, careful, strong." Eli smiled. "Thanks, but we're not done yet. Let's get you flying again." He guided the pod through a narrow gap in the asteroid field, moving carefully while monitoring the approaching hostile signals. The enemy ships were relentless, fast, and precise, but humans had a knack for improvisation. Eli knew they could survive if they worked together. "Take it slow at first," Eli advised. "Feel your armor and your fighter's systems. Then, when you're ready, we'll push forward." Serila's fingers moved over the controls, testing the energy flow through her armor. The filaments along her body pulsed in response to every adjustment, and the pod hummed as she synchronized with her fighter's systems. "Human, guide, yes, careful, teach," she murmured. Eli nodded. "Just like before. Watch the rocks, anticipate the movement, and trust your instincts." Together, they navigated the asteroid corridor. The pod weaved expertly around tumbling rocks, dodging small debris. Eli provided guidance, while Serila responded with precision, her alien reflexes complementing his instructions perfectly. They were a team, a human and an alien, united by a shared goal: survival. Suddenly, the enemy ships appeared again, closer than before. Their sleek, black vessels glinted ominously against the nebula's light. "We have to move fast," Eli warned. "I'll handle the strategy, you focus on maneuvering your fighter." Serila nodded, her glow intensifying. "Yes. Human. Together." Eli calculated a daring move. He directed her toward a cluster of larger asteroids, using the terrain as a natural shield. "Follow me closely. We'll use them for cover. Then make a sudden dash." The pod and her fighter moved like synchronized dancers, weaving through the rocks as laser beams cut through space around them. Serila's systems responded perfectly to Eli's guidance, her armor protecting her while she executed sharp turns and sudden bursts of speed. "You're amazing," Eli said, impressed by her skill. She glanced at him, a faint smile in her glowing eyes. "Human, clever, adaptive, teach well." Together, they burst from the asteroid cluster, the enemy ships momentarily blinded by the sudden maneuver. Eli's heart pounded, but he kept his focus sharp. "Almost there. Just a little further." Serila accelerated, her fighter's engines glowing brightly. The pod stayed in sync with her movements, forming a shield of energy between them and the pursuing vessels. The hostile ships fired, but the energy barriers held, absorbing the blasts and redirecting them harmlessly into the nebula. Finally, they reached the edge of the nebula, where space opened into a quiet stretch between stars. The hostile ships paused, unwilling to follow further into uncharted territory. Eli exhaled, relief washing over him. We did it. You're safe. For now. Cirilla's markings pulsed softly, a sign of relaxation. Eli smiled, feeling the weight of their shared journey. We make a good team. Humans and, well, aliens like you. She tilted her head thoughtfully. Yes, team. Together. Learn. Survive. Eli realized something important. This mission wasn't just about saving one life. It was about proving that humans could connect, cooperate, and build trust across species. Their ingenuity, courage, and empathy were not just tools for survival. They were a bridge to new alliances. You know, Eli said, humans aren't just explorers. We adapt. We improvise. And when we care about someone, we go all the way to help them. Cirilla's glow intensified, reflecting a mixture of understanding and appreciation. Human, unique, remarkable, worthy. Dong. Dong. Eli grinned. Thanks. But you're remarkable too. Your tech, your reflexes, your courage. It's amazing. As they floated in the calm stretch of space, Eli helped her transition fully back into her fighter. She moved with confidence now. Her armor seamlessly integrated with the vessel's systems. Eli watched as she tested the controls, the pod following as a small support vehicle, ready if anything went wrong. Try a simple flight pattern, Eli instructed. Nothing too difficult. Cirilia followed, gliding through smooth arcs and gentle loops. She was precise, deliberate. And yet, there was a fluidity that Eli admired. You've got this, he encouraged. Suddenly, she paused mid-maneuver, looking back at him. Human. I trust you. Eli felt a surge of pride and warmth. I trust you too, he said. Now, let's show them what humans and your incredible skills can do together. They prepared to leave the nebula completely. But before they could, a transmission came through the pod's comms. It was the enemy faction. Their voices distorted and alien. You have something that does not belong to you. Return it, or face consequences. Cirilla's eyes flared. Human. Danger. Eli shook his head, a determined smile forming. Not this time. We have something they don't. We have skill. We have courage. And we have teamwork. Let's go. Together, they navigated toward open space. The hostile ships followed cautiously. But every move Cirilla made, guided by Eli, put them at an advantage. They used quick bursts, energy shields, and clever maneuvers to outpace the pursuers. Finally, they reached the edge of a star system, where human reinforcements awaited. Eli guided Cirilla toward a rendezvous point. Almost there. Stay close. You've got this. She accelerated, glowing with determination. The last of the enemy ships hesitated, then retreated. Eli breathed a deep sigh of relief. We did it? You're safe. Cirilla powered down her fighter's defensive systems, looking at Eli with gratitude. Human? Clever? Brave? Saved? Life? Gratitude? Always. Eli smiled warmly. It's what humans do. We survive, yes, but we also help. We care. That's the real strength. Cirilla's glow pulsed softly, almost like a heartbeat. Human, true, worthy, partner, future, together. Eli realized that humanity had just proven something important. In the vastness of space, humans were more than explorers. They were problem solvers, collaborators, and trustworthy allies. Their courage, ingenuity, and compassion could inspire not just other humans, but other species as well. As Cirilla's fighter docked with the Aurora, Eli floated beside her, watching the smooth integration of alien technology with human support systems. "You know," he said, "this is just the beginning. Humans aren't just surviving out here. We're learning, growing, leading by example." She looked at him, eyes glowing softly. "Human, remarkable, worthy, life, hope, future." Eli nodded, feeling a sense of accomplishment unlike any he had known. Humanity had faced the unknown and shown that their strength wasn't just in weapons or technology, it was in creativity, empathy, courage, and the willingness to help others. The hostile faction might return someday, but humanity would be ready. And now, thanks to a brave alien fighter and a partnership built on trust, they had a new ally in the galaxy. As the Aurora prepared to continue its mission, Eli looked out at the stars, a quiet determination in his heart. Humanity had touched another world, earned trust across species, and proven once again that the human spirit could overcome the greatest challenges. One gentle touch at a time. Somewhere in the nebula, Cerila's fighter glowed faintly, carrying the knowledge of humans' ingenuity and compassion back to her people. And Eli knew that this was just the start of a new era of cooperation, understanding, and adventure. An era where humans truly stood out in the galaxy. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, and Eli Carter, human engineer and problem solver, felt ready for whatever the universe could throw at him next.